hello there. My name is HW, and thank you so much for watching. On today's episode of Well, Hello There, we are going to talk about how I generate about $2,000 a week in passive income. Now, when I say passive income, I think that term is a little bit overused. Passive income, it's like you don't have to do anything for it. Most of the time when people talk about passive income, they talk about something where you have to kind of set something up or do something one time, and then it sort of just runs its course. And that's no different here. We're selling cash secured puts, we're selling covered calls, and we're realizing premiums. We're getting those premiums. We're getting paid to make people guarantees. And I love that. I love being able to tell someone, I will buy that stock from you on this date for that price. And then they hand you money for said guarantee. And I especially really like it because the money is the reward. And you really, to me, you're taking on no more risk than if you opened the position. Meaning, if I bought the stock right now, I don't have really any more risk than if I had to buy it then. And for me, because I only do this with stocks that I want to own, I really think it's a really great way to generate some extra money. So, a couple episodes ago, we talked about one trade I did. I want to recap that trade real quick. So, boom, here you go. I'm in my Robinhood account. Now, in addition to this money that I'm trying to generate in cash secured puts, I also am doing some swing trading, and I'm on a hot streak. Made about $3,000 this week in Robinhood, and that's great. Now, my wife won't let me show you all of my my big account, but I will show you my trade journal where I have a record of some of my trades, so you can see some of those trades because I don't have them here in Robinhood. But it's been a good week. Right about here is when I sold that cash secured put we talked about previously, which was on Virgin Galactic. And then I had a bunch of other trades, SoFi calls and Palantir calls and everything. And, made some money this week. But let's go to the trade journal. All right, boom, here we are in my trade journal. And I use that term loosely. This is just like a running list in Excel of sort of all of my trades where I've collected premiums, cash secured puts, and covered calls. And I do this just so I can see if I'm hitting my goal of about $2,000 a week. I try to really stick to that. So let's look at some of these. In the last video, the Money for Nothing video, I sold this contract right here. It's a $30 put on Virgin Galactic, and I collected $660 in premiums. Now, it was earnings week for Virgin Galactic, and I got a little nervous because we started falling, but theta decay, the time decay, helped me, and I was profitable. I got a little nervous earnings might not be good because I've been an investor in Virgin Galactic for a long time. I know the company well. I knew the earnings were not going to look good in terms of revenue, but what I didn't know is how the market was going to respond. Now, they made some really good announcements. The stock has since gone up. I could have realized all of this as profit today, and I didn't. So I cost myself by not waiting about $800 in potential, but it's okay. Each of these trades still made me about $235. Some of the other trades I took, and in fact, I liked the trade so much after I did that video, I went and did it again. I actually doubled my position. I sold another 5 contracts in a different account, and I closed them both out at about the same time. I thought that was a good trade. I also wrote, this was SoFi calls. I wrote 20 SoFi calls, closed them out, made about $120. I had some Palantir puts. Palantir, I was able to close those out and not get assigned any more shares of Palantir. Although I'm very bullish on Palantir, I would take the shares in a heartbeat, and we'll get into that. I've written more. There I realized about $230, $220 on each of those positions. In addition, here is my bigger one for the week. I had $700 puts on Tesla. I received about $1,050 in premiums for that. And I was able to close out that position a day or two early because I was able to close it out for about $364. And I realized, somewhere close to $700 there. Now, why am I closing these positions out early? Well, when you write a position and you're going to make, let's say, $1,000 on the position, if after 2 days you're up $600, well, you've just realized 60% of the return in 40% of the time, which means your expected return for the remaining 3 days is now lower than it's been in the past 3 days. That's a moment when you lock in gains. You take that and then you try to look for other positions that would give you better ROI than what is left, than what's the remaining ROI on the contract, right? So if after one day everything goes your way and you've realized half of the expected gains for a put that you wrote, a CSP, why would you stay in there? If it's a week-long contract, you realized half in one day, and for the next 4 days, you're only going to realize about 12% of of the total. You should close that out and go write another position if you want to be aggressive. You could wait, but that also leaves you open to a green position turning red. And I believe in locking in green when you can. Look right here. Look at my trade journal. The last 2 weeks, every position is green. Why? Because I take profits when they're there. I want to take those profits and lock them in. Let's look at last week. Last week, I wrote $28 puts on space, $240 premium. Not getting rich on $240, guys. But boom, $85, I can close it. I can realize $150 for doing nothing. $250 on Palantir. Closed it for $100. I got $150. It's free money. Here we go with the higher dollar amounts. This is where I'm putting in more capital. Some of these are good payouts for the amount that you're investing, for the amount that you're putting up for risk. But they have high IV. They're volatile. So I'm locking in profits here. For Apple, 831 someone paid me to agree to buy Apple. You think I mind owning Apple? I do not mind owning Apple. A lot of people don't even hold cash, they just hold Apple. That's a true story that's very common in the sort of investing world. A lot of people will have the saying, Apple is my cash. And so there you go. $831. Boom, closed it out for $288. Here's Tesla. I have some Tesla shares. I sold covered calls against them. I said, I don't think Tesla's going to 720 this week, and it didn't. And someone paid me $300 to realize that. Now, I only wrote that. It only was for about 2 days. I wrote that after I'd sold out of some of their positions. Boom, closed it out right before for $14. And I could have let it go to zero, but I like to close out the positions. SoFi, I wrote it, look at this, $17.50 on SoFi, $17, $15.50, all covered calls I wrote against my SoFi holdings and received $325, $200, and $460, closed it out for $50, $100, $100. That's $250 that I closed these out for a total, what I'm guessing is about $1,000 in premiums for SoFi. So SoFi got me, in addition to the appreciation that happened on SoFi, it made me about $750. To me, this is income. This is income I can pull out and spend. I don't always pull it out and spend it, but this is income. I'm generating income. The actual holdings, these stocks that I'm long on, I want them to go on and earn me money forever. But this is income that I can spend this week. And a lot of times I take this premium and I invest it into a long-term position because, like I said, I have a regular job that I try to support myself with. So this money is meant to be money that's just growing for the purpose of growing wealth. You can see all these other positions down here, did a bunch of stuff. What's this in the last 2 weeks? So last week, I received $2,600.06 in premiums. To close those positions out when they were at all sorts of different places, I bought the positions back for $737. That left me, and that includes settling, buying to close and the fees. That left me with $1,869 in income for the week. Guys, I set this up. This is literally done at coffee shops. Literally at a coffee shop near my house. I go do these trades there. I like to get out of the house. Sometimes I do them here in my house. Now a lot of these I did several trades during that morning because I'm in the market a lot and I like to watch and stuff, and I talk to my buddies about what's going on in the market. I could set these up 2 mornings a week, 1 morning a week. I could go months out. I can go 4 and 6 months out, and I can do that. And I could literally do this once a month and have sort of a similar outcome here. For the next week, I generated, check this out, because I was in and out so much, I generated a little more, $3,933, almost $4,000 in premiums. And I had to buy, I bought to close those positions. I closed them all out at almost $2,000, right? You see that. and I made $19.49, very close to my $2,000 goal. I'll be honest, I haven't hit my $2,000 goal in the last 2 weeks, but that's okay. I'm getting very close, and I could have been a little more aggressive, but sometimes, you trade, you got to know when not to trade. Now, I could have crushed my goal had I held on to this Virgin Galactic. I could have waited a little more. I could have realized more on Tesla. Tesla would have paid out completely. I didn't need to close it. But I like to close positions when they're green. And if I start to get a little concerned because the stock starts going the wrong way and a position is still profitable, I don't want to let it turn red. I don't believe in letting green positions turn red just because you want more money. I believe in locking in the trade, locking in the money, lock in the profits. You walk away a winner, and then with a clear head, you ask yourself, now what's a trade I want to be in? Because every moment you're still in a trade, you're buying that trade again. Every second you're still in a position, you're buying that position, buying that position, buying that position. Same is true of anything. For every day, you wake up, you buy your car every day. You buy your home every day. You're making the decision to keep it as a home, as an asset, rather than convert it to cash. So you rebuy it every day. That's just how I look at it. Now, what are my positions for this week, going into this week, and what am I trying to do? I'm trying to generate the same thing. I may write one or two more positions on Monday. It depends on how much available cash I have in the brokerage. It depends on just how I'm feeling, what the market's doing, how much cash I want to keep on hand. We got earnings coming up on a couple stocks, so I might want to keep a little extra cash in case I want to do some calls or protective puts or whatever. But boom, I have written Palantir. I like Palantir, and I like where we're going. We're heading into earnings on Palantir, and I think we are very bullish. Maybe I'll do a technical analysis video on Palantir because there's some nice stuff, but it doesn't matter. About $2,000 on Palantir. I'm guaranteeing people that I will buy 2,000 shares of Palantir at $22, 20 contracts. They paid me for this guarantee. I'll buy those in 1 week from today. 1 week from when I'm recording this video. I'll buy those. $2,000 they paid me for that. Man, that is some easy money because I want to own Palantir. And to be honest with you, I'm so confident in this trade, I'm not going to get assigned Palantir, and I kind of wish I was. I kind of hope Palantir goes to 2201, and I get assigned, and I get to keep all that money, and I have Palantir right there at that great price. But hey, they're going to pay me $2,000 to not buy the stock. I'll take that, and I already have some Palantir, so I'm exposed to Palantir. So when it goes up this week, because earnings are going to be bullish, I'm pretty confident earnings are going to be bullish. They've been bullish. But really, I believe we're going to see a run up into earnings in anticipation of earnings. And so that's why I wrote this put here, and Palantir is at the bottom of its range. SoFi is another one. Man, I have a lot of SoFi, and I like SoFi. 25 covered calls on SoFi sold, and I received 529. Now, here's what I like about this. Covered calls keep you disciplined, and because I have purchased that many shares of SoFi at about under $15, at about $14.75. So by getting into this position where I'm forced to sell at $19.50, regardless of where it goes, I am guaranteed $525 in premium to make that trade today, to lock it in, to make that commitment today. And when it happens, I'll be selling shares that I purchased for $14.75. I'll be selling them for $19.50. I'm going to realize a swing trade there. I'm going to realize a profit of about 25%, close to 25%, right? I'm going to make close to $5 per share. Close to $5 per share. For how many shares? 2,500 shares. Holy cow. That trade would make me 12 grand. That trade would make $12,000. And that's why I want to stay disciplined. Because here's what's going to happen. I know me, and I know how the mind works. SoFi is going to start running. It's going to start running leading into earnings, and people are going to go, I think it's going to 25. And if you believe it's going to 25 and you don't lock in a great trade at $19.50 at $20, it could go to 22 and then slump back down because you were waiting for 25. So I'm not into that. So I write the covered call because I go, yeah, I want to get rid of those shares. I want those shares out of here. I want to lock in the profit. I want to take it. Then I'm going to ask myself, what's another good position to take on SoFi? And I have SoFi shares that I'm holding long. So I believe SoFi is going to go to $100 long term. I'm talking in 5-10 years. SoFi will be at $100. I believe that. And because I'm long on the company, that's what the due diligence has told me, right? That's where I'm at with SoFi. So for me, I want a long position, but I bought shares for this purpose. So boom. I hope that I really don't plan to actually close out any of these positions because, we'll see. But I might just let these expire or close them out for very little money. So I plan to, even if I write no other calls this week, no other puts, I plan to realize the vast majority of this 2,500. I probably this week on these two positions in particular, I believe I'll be able to close both these positions out for several $100s and realize a full $2,300 right there, and really hit my goal with two stocks, two companies going into earnings. But that's how I do it, guys. That's how I do it. I am basically just looking to generate income from premiums, and that is money that I get to keep and I want to spend. Whether I have to buy that Palantir for $22 or I have to sell that SoFi for $19.50, I keep the premium. And that's what's beautiful about this strategy to me. If I buy Palantir and it goes down to $18, well, that's an unrealized loss. That's a loss on the books. It's an unrealized loss. But I would have that loss if I went ahead and bought Palantir today anyway. But what I'm doing is forcing the market to pay me to make trades guarantees today. I am forcing the market to say, I'm saying, hey, market, Palantir is a little above $22. I'll buy it at 22. I'll guarantee you I'll buy it for cheaper than it is today if it goes down there. And the market goes, oh yeah? We'll pay you for that. I mean, that is some crazy stuff. And all you got to do is do some homework, do some research, and I enjoy this stuff. So for me, it doesn't feel like work at all. It doesn't feel like work at all. I've been HW. That is how I try to generate about $2,000. Now, in another video, I'll go over maybe the capital that you might need or how much capital I'm using to do that. And the reason I keep that journal is because I want to see long term. I was doing this with Palantir a long time ago. When Palantir started falling and started looking weak, I sold Palantir. I got out of it. Palantir now came down, and now I'm doing it again. And so I really try to be disciplined. I only do this for stocks that I'm long on, that I'm bullish on, and that I don't mind owning. And that is one of the tricks. That's how I do it, guys. I've been HW. Thanks so much for watching. What are you doing? Are you writing puts? Are you writing calls? What's your strategy? Are you long on any of these stocks? Let me know in the comments down below. I've been HW. Thank you so much for watching. Well, hello there. HW.